Hey everybody, it's Dana. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and blog. We're going to be making a card today with two stamp sets from Simon Says Stamp. I'm using an Artsy flower parts. And for this card, I'm going to be using one of the flower stamps. But to me, it looks like a watermelon. I don't know what it was or what it is about this image, but it looks like a watermelon to me. So I'm going to be using two color greens from Simon Says Stamp. One is jelly bean and green apple, and I'm going to stamp me out some watermelons on the bottom of this card. So just remember, sometimes you can have stamp sets and you can look at the images and you can be like, those look like something else than what they were originally intended to be. So in this case, one of the flowers, I don't know, to me just looked like a watermelon. So I'm going to go with it. So like I said, I'm going to just stamp some of these randomly on the bottom piece of my cardstock. And this cardstock right here is Nina Solarite 80 pound. I'm going to leave a little bit of an opening right there in the middle because I'm going to have one of my quote watermelons pop up right there. So I'm going to use the darker green and I'm going to go ahead and stamp this off on a piece of scratch paper. What I'm going to do is, since that green is really close in color, I'm going to double stamp this. I know it's going to dry back a little bit, but I just want to try to see if I can get a little bit of variation in those two colors. I think that looks good for now. I'm going to go ahead and stamp just one more watermelon off to the side because it just didn't look even to me. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and grab a pair of scissors and I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut this out. So since this is a really easy shape, I can just go ahead and grab a pair of scissors and I don't need to have dies for this. I am eventually going to go ahead and pick up the die set for this, but when I put it in my cart, I totally forgot to put in the dies. So for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and fussy cut out this shape. And like I said, it's a really easy shape to cut out, so it's not hard for me to fussy cut. All right, now since that's done, we can go ahead and start looking to see how I'm going to make this card work. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the sentiment, your one in a melon. And I'm also going to grab out the watermelon from the Funny Food stamp set. I think that stamp set is absolutely adorable. You're going to see some cards in the future with that adorable little stamp set. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp down a sentiment where I want it, just putting it up a little bit higher because I want my watermelon to actually, my slice of watermelon to be standing on top of that watermelon that I cut out. So I'm using Memento Tuxedo black ink because I'm actually going to do a little bit of Copic coloring. So I'm going to press that down and I'm going to go ahead and move my card panel out the way so I can go ahead and quickly do some basic Copic coloring. Nothing fancy here. I'm just going to quickly color in this little slice of watermelon. So I'm just going to start off with a lighter shade of red. I believe this is R21. And I'm just going to put down a base color. And then I'm going to come in with R24. And I'm just going to add in a little bit of shading from the edge. Because you know my watermelon slice is really juicy. And then I'm going to come in with R27 just to add a little bit more shading. With this coloring, it's not difficult to do. It's really simple coloring right here. And then I'm going to go back and flick out my color a little bit more, bring that color into the center a little bit, and then I'm going to finish off with that R24. Now, as I was doing this, I wasn't really liking the blending too much, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up some of that color off of my R24 and I'm just going to blend it out from the tip of that R21 marker. And then I can scribble off the rest of that color on my marker tip off to the scratch piece of that paper there. Now for my G's, my greens, I use YG25, YG05 are my lighter greens. And I'm just going to blend that down to give me some really quick green color on my rind. And then YG17 is going to be the darker color of my green. So I'm just going to flick some of that color down, and then I'm going to just go back with the YG23, or 25 rather, just to go ahead and blend that all out. Now for my seeds, I went ahead and grabbed my Copic multi-liner, and I'm going to do that in sepia. I didn't want to do it in black. I wanted to do it like in a brownie color. All right, so that is all done. My cute little watermelon is all colored up, and now I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut this out. Now when I'm fussy cutting this out, I don't know if you realized it when I was cutting out the watermelon, but when I fussy cut, I move my paper generally and not my scissors. So you see I'm turning the paper, kind of leaving my scissors intact, and I'm actually moving the paper. So especially like when I'm doing tiny pieces, like right around those legs, I'm going to leave those legs intact until I cut out the rest of the piece. So this way I'm not trying to fussy cut and hold on to two little stick legs. I'll leave that until the very end. Alright, so I'm just going to come up around. Again, this is a really easy shape to fussy cut out until you get down to the legs. Alright, so that is done. Now I'm going to go in right around those two little legs. And I'm going to very carefully twist my paper and let my scissors go up. And then I'm going to twist my paper again. Twist. And then I'm going to come right back, just straight up. And then I can go ahead and pull that little piece out. And then I can finish rounding off that leg. Alrighty, and we're done with fussy cutting. Phew! Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and zoom back out, and we'll go ahead and start putting this card together. I'm going to bring back in that other piece I fussy cut out, and as you can see now my watermelon slice can hang out on top of that watermelon. Now to assemble my card, I'm going to grab some foam tape, and I'm going to pop up that watermelon right in the area where I left that opening. And then I'm also going to add some foam tape to the back of my slice of watermelon. And I do want this to stand up a little bit higher than my watermelon piece. So I'm going to actually put two pieces, or double stack this rather, of foam tape on the back. Just so it stands up a little bit higher. I'm going to put him right on top. He is so darn cute. Isn't he precious? Alright, now I don't want my watermelon just to be hanging out there. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that darker Copic marker. And this is the YG17. And I'm just going to add in some fake or faux grass. So I'm just going to start flickering in some color. And then you're going to see me just do like a line. A total line straight across the bottom. And then I'm going to come in and do some light flicks to mimic blades of grass. So I'm just going to flick that up. And then this way my watermelon just don't seem like they're floating on the paper. They actually are now grounded. My images are now grounded on my card panel. So I'm just going to add a few more. I'm going to make some a little bit thicker, some a little bit thinner. Alright, and now on that one watermelon that's sitting up, I'm going to do a little bit of shading, just so that one looks a little bit different than the rest of them. So just a few quick lines, and that little watermelon is now done. Alrighty. Now, to assemble the card, I'm going to go ahead and trim this down just a little bit. I'm going to take off about a quarter of an inch or so from the top and off on the sides, because I'm going to mat this down on a card base. So I didn't want this to be covering up the entire card base. So I'm just going to take a little bit more off the side. All right, that looks good. Now for my card base, I'm going to use some fog cardstock, and this is also from Simon Says Stamp. And I'm going to go ahead and score that right down the middle. Most of my cards that I do are always the standard A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And that looks fantastic. I have a nice little border all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and grab my ATG gun, and we're going to add the finishing touches to make this card complete. I really love just that touch of color around a beautiful stark white panel. Now I just wanted to add in some faux stitching, because even though I really like the clean and simple look of this card, to me it was a little bit just way too much white space. So I'm going to add with my Copic multiliner just a few faux stitch marks. I'm going to go across the top of the panel, and then I'm going to go down the left side. This is a very easy technique if you just want to add just a little something something to your card panel that's not overpowering, but kind of like grounds it just a little bit more. All right, I think that looks good, but I do need to pull in a little bit more of that red color. So I'm going to go ahead and, I think I'm going to use some enamel dots. Yeah, see, that red really ties it all together. So I'm going to grab just a few enamel dots. I'm going to grab 2 red and a green. Yep, I think that's all I need. And I'm going to use some multi-matte medium and place those down onto my card panel. And that is going to finish off the card. All right, so next time when you see something in those stamp sets, think outside the box. Be creative with your stamps. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I will see you guys soon. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.